Sure. One, give credit to Michigan State, Jonathan Smith and his coaching staff. Did a tremendous job getting their team prepared for a road game. It's Big Ten football. We talked to our team about it. Early conference game against a team like I talked about that's from the status quo. They've been one of the better teams, and we didn't get it done. You know, the special teams, penalties, the big plays on defense, and then the inability to run the ball on offense. When I see that from a big picture things, here's what I see. I see all those things are correctable. All right, we can correct the penalties. You know, we put ourselves in the bad position on special teams to have the type of penalties we had. The big plays on defense, that's about growing up. You know, those guys had opportunities, and we got to do a better job of keeping the big plays in front of us. And then just when we needed to be able to run the ball on offense to finish drives, we weren't able to, which, you know, when you have opportunities like that playing Big Ten football, you have to take them. They're not going to give them to you. And I think right now, as we talk about a player-led culture, it'll be tested this week because these guys need to get in here. We'll get these things corrected. It's early in the year. So, again, I'm not in here telling you that the season is lost because we took a tough loss here at home against our good team, as we talked about. But I think and expect this team to respond the right way. They've done the work. They continue to do things the way we need them done in practice, but it has to translate to games. And when we have opportunities to win Big Ten games like we had with this one, we have to seize the opportunity. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Mike, if you could expand on Aiden Child's game today, how you guys tried to defend them in their passing game and what they were able to take advantage of.
Yeah, our goal was to make him beat us throwing the football, and guess what? He did. They're a team that we decided we wanted to stop the run. We know that the run and the play action pass off the run is what they do best. Today, the kid showed us he can win playing drop back football, and you know, some of the times it didn't look like we were in good coverage, and we gave up some big plays. And you know what? Those are some growing pains that I hate that we have to go through now. And I know for the people that support us, they don't like to hear it, but those are necessary growing pains that some of these inexperienced players are going to have to go through. We got to help them as coaches by figuring out how to protect them a little bit more, whether it's keeping a safety in the middle of the field or whether it's getting after the quarterback and forcing him to make fast decisions. But, you know, Aiden Childs, our goal was to make him beat us throwing it, and he did that today. So hats off to that kid for the way he played.
Yeah. Mike, following that up, you know, we talked about the defense during the offseason, how excited this team was about that side of the ball. Is it a little more disappointing that they gave up those big plays considering the depth and the skill you have?
It's always disappointing when you give up 350 yards passing. I don't know how many big plays total it was, but it's the part of our defense that we understand and know that's young. I mean, and so it's not as if we are surprised that we've got young corners and some guys that are playing their first football for us. And as I said before, it's a matter of, one, those guys growing up a little bit and learning the lessons that come along with failing like we failed today. But I also think as coaches, as we start to understand who we are, you know, keeping a safety in the middle of the field helps some of those young corners and maybe takes the air out of some of these deep balls. But, you know, the game plan was to make them beat us throwing the ball, and Aiden Childs and those receivers did a good job of winning. We had our chances, and we just didn't take advantage of them. And to me, we've got to get that part fixed.
Hey, Coach.
Sam, what's up?
Wanted to ask you about the kind of third and then fourth down and one. The 4th and 1 electing to go for the field goal, and then on the 3rd and 1, not doing any sort of QB sneak. The field goal, was there any thought to going for it? And then Billy hasn't rushed a QB sneak, I don't think, this year. Is there any reason to that?
You know, what we call and how we call it is all game planned essential. The 3rd and 1 and the 4th and 1, calling sneaks, handing it off. I mean, we can always second guess every call we make in terms of what we should have done. You know, with the 4th and 1 call last week, I punted them both times, and I didn't get that question. And we pinned them inside the 10. The goal was to pin them inside the 10, give them the long field, play the field position battle. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. We punted it down there. They hit a big play, and they got the ball across the 50-yard line. And that's where, when I talk about taking advantage of some of the opportunities, we had opportunity with them pinned in there to keep the field position in our battle to win, and we didn't get it accomplished. No, I mean, Jack's we had a chance to go up 2 scores. If I do kick it and miss it, you're going to be saying, why didn't you go for it? Or if I kick it and we make it, I mean, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't from that standpoint. But the smart play is to go up 2 possessions, 10 points.
Jordan Johnson, Next Level Sports and Entertainment. Coach, how do you feel like a Big Ten game this early, obviously the first time you've had to play one this early in the season, helps prepare you for down the line in October, November?
Yeah, this is probably the earliest we faced one, but, you know, we weren't surprised. We knew it was on our schedule. Again, Big Ten games are hard, tough battles, and today was just that. And I'm hoping this is one of those battles that as I always talk about, when we have failures, what's the lesson we can take from it? And the one I get just off the cuff is that when we have chances to win in the Big Ten, and we had our offense on the field for a drive to win it, we had our defense on the field for a drive to win it, and we had our special teams on the field to give us a chance to go up 2 scores. 3 phases, and neither one of us, or either of those phases, were able to take the victory. And the Big Ten ain't gonna give it to us, so I've got to get us in the position to make those plays and when we need them.
Hey, Locks, good to see you.
Alex,
Preseason, you talked about, you know, competing for championships, your conference championships. So when you have a loss like today, where, you know, you guys were up 5 minutes to go and then falling in this, how do you use today as maybe an example and what's, I guess, your message with this in terms of that bigger picture?
Well, the message is that all's not lost. I mean, this is a Big Ten game. We put ourselves behind the 8 ball starting behind in Big Ten play, but man, we got a long season, so I'm not going to sit up here and have this the poor me's feeling sorry for ourselves. I mean, shoot, we lost a tough game at home. It's one that we had a chance to win. We got to get on the tape, and I got to figure out how to get us to go win these games. I mean, Damon said something to head coaches the other day. He said something about when we got to win the games we're supposed to win. Well, this is one we should have won, and we got to find a way to win it, and it starts with us as a staff establishing and making sure that these guys understand. When all 3 phases had a chance to win the game for us, none of us came through. We were 0 for 3, and that's the part we got to get fixed.
And just curious if you're willing to share, what did you say to your team after this game?
I mean, I just told them, I mean, you know, ain't time to have the poor me's, you know. See a couple of those young corners, man, with those, you know, tears in their eyes. It's, you know what, these guys come to compete. They put a lot into the work. My message is all is not lost. And if we're player-led like we say we are, then I'll see them back in here Monday with the right mindset to find a way to get prepared to go down and plant the seeds to go down in Charlottesville against another really good team, a regional rivalry game, old ACC foe. They're not going to feel sorry for us, so we need to get it corrected, get over it, and get ready to go play.
Hey, Mike.
George, what's up?
Only 86 yards rushing this week after going for over 200 last week. Just what you talked about their front 7 all week, but was also something on your part, too, that was unable to get that game going?
Yeah, we were on edges the whole day. We had a penetration all through the A-gaps. I mean, we have to cover people up. You know, the good thing when you watch it, because we get the real-time information, it wasn't a scheme. It's a matter of the fundamentals being executed up front. And, you know, this is a Big Ten team. We knew they play heavy-handed, a very physical group that we've got to win at the line of scrimmage. And today we were on edges in the inside when we needed to run on those 4th and 1s that Sam asked about. I mean, when you see that type of color inside, it didn't give me confidence to say let's line up and just knock them off the ball. We got to figure out. And there were times on those second downs where we could have got the first down if we just knifed the ball vertical and not keep running lateral. So a lot of good coaching, a lot of good teaching we can take from it. I'm looking forward to getting on the tape and then getting these guys prepared.
And I know that Perry was injured and you rotated through a lot of guys in the secondary. Was that because of injury or dinged up, or out of necessity, just trying to find a guy that could get a stop for you in the
I
secondary?
mean, Perry played injured. I mean, we knew he had the hand, the finger deal. That shouldn't affect corners. I mean, we're going to play these young guys. We have to. You know, when you play the amount of plays and the special teams plays that they had, I mean, it's unfortunate, man. We got some talented young corners that, I mean, they got to grow up. And we got the front 7, and people understand that it's going to be tough to run it against our front. And so what we've got to do now is have a good mix of being able to get after the quarterback. And again, today that kid did a tremendous job of making the plays, made through the deep ball down the field and put it in position for those guys to take advantage of those opportunities, which we missed our share of those as well.
Hey, Coach.
What's up?
I know you mentioned some of the big plays the defense gave up, but can you talk about some of the key takeaways Glenn had as well as Jalen Husky?
Yeah, I mean, we had some takeaways on defense. You know, Glendon, as I told you guys, is one of those special players that always has a knack for being around the ball and with his playmaking ability. If we could just eliminate the one 15-yard penalty play, like you're a veteran player now, we don't hit the guy out of bounds. But when it comes to being around the football, being a guy that's a ball hawk and can make plays and affect the game on defense, Glendon's one of those guys. Jalen's interception, it was good to see him. It was one of the times where we had a safety in the middle of the field and we played deep third coverage, and the guy threw it to us. And Jalen made a play from a confidence standpoint, much needed. But you know, we got to grow up a little bit at that position. And there's no doubt in my mind we will. Those guys, they are resilient, the young corners. We can't be afraid to play getting beat. You know, as coaches, again, we can help them some, and I expect us to make some of those changes or make the necessary adjustments to give those guys a little help.
Hey, Coach. I'm Jack from.
Hey, Jack.
I'm Jack from WMEC. Ty Felton has been great through both games so far. What role do you think he's going to have in the offense going forwards?
I mean, I think we've talked about he's been a playmaker for us for the last couple of years. He's waited his time to kind of become, you know, the complement. He and both Caden Prather are both two talented receivers in this league, and there's no doubt when we need a play, Ty has been one of those guys consistently that's come through with those plays, and we're going to need him. We're going to need his leadership. You know, the locker room, I'm sure, is down as they should be because you invest a lot of time and energy into these opportunities. You only get 12. We're down to 10. We kind of let one. We had one taken. I mean, because you got to give Michigan State credit. They took the game. They drove it down. They kicked the winning field goal. They did what we didn't do, and to me, that's the part that, as a player-led team, and as me as the head coach, that we got to come together and get that part fixed. Thanks, guys.